Alright, hello again everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming in Miniature live stream. Okay, what do we got going on here? Alright, so I did a lot of work early this morning off camera, and I could have turned the cameras on at that time and sat with you guys and talked for a while, but I felt like it wasn't necessary because, or I felt like it wasn't smart because I needed the glue to dry, right? So I needed, I did a bunch of work with all these different flocks that I've got on the table. And now what I need to do, now that the glue is dried, hopefully, like all this clump foliage you see here on the table, it's not going to look like this when it's done, because I'm going to brush off the excess. The town sectors have some of this bordering some of the town sectors. This road here has some of this static grass as a bushy fields. I went ahead and did the coarse turf along the rivers. I did a little bit of this flowering meadow. It's a kind of a mixture of static and scatter, and I did that around this town sector, and then I used this around this town sector, and this one, but I've already shaken this one off, and I've got quite a bit of clump foliage out there. So I did all that, and I'm waiting. I was waiting for it to dry. Let's see here. So basically I'm just getting a lot of this stuff out of the way. And we will start cleaning up. All right, so So thank you for coming out and watching me build this terrain board. I uploaded a video last night about flocking trees. I know, right? It's weird, but I did that because I have some trees, but they look very artificial, right? They don't look very tree-like, if that makes sense. They look more man-made, plastic. So I needed to clean them up, right? And I showed, well, I experimented with one tree yesterday on the live stream, and I thought it was such a good idea that I decided to break up a bunch of different break out, I should say, a bunch of different types of flock and colors, and kind of get a good idea of which ones are the best. Okay, this is called Grass Flower Meadow. Okay. I'm okay with that. And I think there's only one tray remaining. With that color. Which is Micro Scatter by Bosch. It doesn't give a color. Oh, maybe it does in the back. Nope. But it gives the 7042 as the color number. The one over there, I think, is 743. Now you might notice that I did some gravel in the town sector in Quatra. I used a little bit of this gray fine ballast. Now for these town sector borders, all I did was put a bead of glue and then sprinkle the foliage. And I'm just gently brushing with this paintbrush. I'm just knocking off excess. Okay. I just heard a police car outside. Tooting his horn. Okay, so this green, I think I only did it in one spot right here. I think. I don't remember. Yeah, this is going to be the trickiest because some of it is stuck. And I'll have to try to break it free. Trying to go pretty gentle on this. I wanted it to be kind of like wild fields. Make it look a little bit like a country hedge. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, everything else should be this darker color, I do believe. So we'll go with that. Now I put a little bit of this clump foliage around the town sector as well to kind of give it a hedge-like look. Which I think it looks really good so far. No, I didn't make hedges. I'm just making like field borders, if that makes sense. I didn't make a hedge like that. I just wanted to kind of give the illusion that there's some fields. And I also went all the way up to the edge of the board. So that would kind of disguise the gap between the boards. Same thing with these field hedges. I put a bead of Mod Podge down, and then I sprinkled this clump foliage over the bead, and then I pinched and squeezed the foliage down into the glue, and then let it sit for a few hours, like 6 hours actually. I think I finished working on this around 10 or 11 in this morning. Now, this is only the initial adherence. I'm still going to spray it with scenic cement to kind of lock everything down. Okay, with these two tiles side by side, you kind of get the impression that there's a number of fields. Or at least I hope you do. Now this little farm out in the countryside, I did 3 sides with the clump foliage, and 1 side with kind of like the talus. To give the illusion of like a rough stone wall. Now, on my Quatra map that I'm working off of, it shows that there's a number of farm outbuildings, you know, like a couple of extra buildings, maybe like a barn or something, away from the main farmhouse. But the way I looked at it, it didn't look like it would warrant a second town sector. It probably could, you know, because of the way the farm is with walls and hedges and stuff. But I felt like this extra area, I would just hedge it off, hedge my bets. No, I just hedge it off to make it look like it's developed, but not warrant a town sector. Okay, there's a lot of clump foliage in these fields. I piled it on and then just left it. And if there's gaps, this is something I was thinking the other night. I was like, if there's gaps in these field hedges, that's fine, because they're not actually hedges or anything. They're not defensible positions. They're just for looks. And if there's loose foliage, I'll just pluck it. I mean, like if it's moving around. Yeah, those look good. They don't look excessive. And there's also, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's more over here on the left side. I'm being very gentle and just letting it fall off. I'm not trying to scrape it. Because if I wanted to, I could probably knock all of it off. I just want it to look more like straight lines and not, giant clumps of bushes. Yeah, that looks good. See how that's just a disaster? Yeah, I was thinking that all I needed to do was clean off all these clump foliages and phlox and basically be done with my map. But I think that's not the case. There's a few things that kind of came up in my head, like, oh, I gotta finish this. I gotta do that too. Okay, that looks way better. So it makes that whole area over there, different areas look like farmland. And it really made a difference, in my opinion, of the overall aesthetic of the map. Oh, goodness. Okay. I got one more flock to clean up. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to pull that out just to remind me that I need to bend that board back and tape it. I keep forgetting. That's one of the things that I needed to do. Yeah, this doesn't look like anything's coming off. That's good. That's good. That means it blends. Now this one looks like there should be stuff coming off, but we'll see. Now this is Woodland Scenics. Yeah, okay, there we go. Woodland Scenics 2 mil static grass. Yeah, and I basically sprinkled it along here where the bushes and stuff are to kind of give it a little bit of a variation. And blend the colors. Okay. Okay, so all the flocks are down. Now there's 2 aspects of this map that will not be finished tonight, and that's the actual buildings and the trees. Those I'm going to do it. Once I get the buildings in, then I'm going to do all the buildings. And over the next few weeks, I'll work on the trees. But I don't consider them part of the board. Even though they are part of the battlefield, they're not the board itself. Now, I don't know if you can notice this, but along the top of the water and the coastline, the shoreline, I use that wet ground or wet whatever it's called. I'm looking down. Wet ground. Okay. It actually does have kind of a glossy look to it, so it does look wet. So I've been thinking about redoing the roads with that wet, but I'm not going to do it. I'm probably not going to do it. I did use the coarse turf along the top part of the entire river area, so that I could blend the paper terrain with the slope. Basically disguise the fact that there's a paper line I was able to flock all of the extra roads. I even worked on this little area over here with blended turf, and I could probably peel all the paper off, you know, the blue tape. Yeah, I probably could do that. But before we do that, I want to do the taping. And then once we get the taping done, I think I'm going to peel the tape and then give this terrain board a nice coating of scenic cement. Wait, that's the one I'm working with. Hold on. All right. Okay. Yeah, so it yeah, the main pole is from this corner to this corner. If I pull that, I'll have to clean all this up, obviously. Okay, I want to get all these stones out of the way. Okay, there's nothing on the back. Now I put a couple of layers of Mod Podge on the back thinking it would stretch it, but it didn't. Okay, if I have that peeled, well, I need to do the whole thing is what I need to do. Okay. Most importantly, got like a bulge right here when I look at it. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really do this. Is pull this up while taping it. Very weird. Now, to be fair, you're supposed to do this before you apply the glue to it. You know, before it warps. Bitches. Okay. Well, doesn't look like it helped very much. Maybe a little. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this TV series called Pine Gap. There was only one season, 2018, I think. I watched the entire season, and it had a really good production value, I think. And the acting was excellent. You know, a bunch of the actors I don't recognize. It had a good story. The problem that I have, well, first of all, it was only one season, and it didn't conclude. It left you with a like a cliffhanger, But yeah, it left you with a cliffhanger, but I already knew going into it there was only going to be one season. But it could have gone on for multiple seasons. But the problem that I had with that show, and I'm sure the producers and the audience originally when it came out in 2018 and whoever was backing that show had probably the same problem. It moved way too slow. The entire season could have been put into 2 episodes. They drug every little aspect of every little story. They stretched it out so much that it was sometimes unbearable to watch. Sometimes it was boring. I liked the show overall, but I could tell why it probably got canceled. There was action in the first episode, which kind of, if you think of it like to get you locked into the story, and then the other 5 episodes had like, I think there was only 6 episodes. So the other 4 episodes, the middle 4, was all like building and story and personalities driven and stuff like that. It was very character centric. And then the very last episode had action. Right? So it was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of like it missed. I don't know, I'm just ranting because I had high hopes for that show. After watching the first episode, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then it never really came back to being really cool. Now, if you don't know, this tan piece right here is actually a paint drop cloth that I was originally planning on painting on and doing texturing and stuff like that, like I made for my black powder game. I did some texturing and puttying and stuff like that for my black powder game on a canvas style drop cloth. And the problem with that drop cloth was a couple of things. It bled through. Some of the paint and stuff like that bled through into underneath, and it also I'm preparing this. Oh, I guess I don't need to really prepare too heavily, not yet, because I still need to pull the paper, because I don't want to spray a scenic cement onto this painter's tape and have it stick. So a little bit of news. Perry Miniatures has just released their plastic Duchy of Warsaw miniatures. They look pretty good. So if you were looking to make a Polish Napoleonic army, now's the time. Because you get like 40 miniatures in a box. That's almost 2 battalions. And they've got a deal where you can buy 3 boxes. Like as a bundle, and get like a free miniature with it or something. I didn't really look too closely, but what caught my eye was I had a commission that I just finished and shipped off for some Duchy of Warsaw metal miniatures. I don't know where they came from. Like who the manufacturer was. They looked a lot like offensive miniatures, and the offensive miniatures does have a set of 36 that you can like a battalion box, and I think that's what these figures were. But I can't guarantee that. And when I shipped them off, like just a few days ago, and then this Perry miniature new release shows up in my email, and I'm like, oh, check that out. That was interesting. What's really cool about that Perry miniature set, there's 2 sets. There's like their line and their elite. So I guess you have line and then like Voltigeurs and Grenadiers. I guess, I don't know. I haven't had one. I haven't done an open box or anything like that, so I couldn't tell you exactly. Okay, all the town sectors, all the bushes, the river, the roads, the hedges, it's all done. Now I thought I would use like a Mod Podge scenic cement mixture. But I'm just going to use the Woodland scenic cement because I still have some of that. But as soon as I run out of the as soon as I run out of the Woodland scenic cement, that's when I'll make some of my own using Mod Podge. Because scenic cement, well, scenic cement is flexible. Mod Podge is not flexible. It dries stiff. So you got to be careful what your project is. Okay. So if you're making like flexible roads or something like that, don't use Mod Podge. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm trying to kind of center this. There we go. See, that one towel is throwing everything off. Alright, just looking at it like that. What do you think? What do you think of my Quatra bra map? Of course, I don't have all the buildings. I don't have the woods out. But other than that, and the bridges. But other than that, I think it looks really good. I think it looks. I'm very pleased with. I'm very pleased with it. We got our bushes, our wild bushes here. We got our open field here and here. We got some bushes. We got the farmland. We got Piermont, I think is what it's called. Pierpoint or Piermont. Looks really good. I got this farm. I don't know whose farm this is. Another field. We got a few bushes on the hill slope here. This little creek, which in hindsight, this creek probably should have been more of a angle, but I didn't want to I didn't want to do that. So that was a little artistic addition there. And once I put the buildings in the town, I think that gravel will actually blend really good. I could probably still go over it with a dark wash, which I think I am going to do, because that is too bright, right? That's too gray. I think I'm going to go over it with a, well, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to go over it with a dark gray wash. Actually, I've got some other colors here, like dark brown or oily earth. I decided to do dark gray. Nope, nope, nope. Let me give it oily earth. Actually, I think I might add some flow additive to it as well. Nah, I don't need it. It came out pretty fluid. Okay, this is dark gray. That's oily earth. I guess it's not oily, I guess it's oiled earth. So I'm doing oiled earth where it transitions to the brown, and then I'm using dark gray closer to the center and blending it, wet blending it with the oiled earth. Okay. These are all Vallejo washes. I think that's going to look really good when it dries. I don't think this is scenic cement. I think it might be water. But then I see, like, it's settled at the bottom. Okay, maybe it is. Okay, I could wash this out and just use it as like a spray bottle of some kind. Just save it. And now this one's almost completely full. I'm going to thoroughly coat this. Now I'm curious, it's got another setting. Okay, this is probably better. More control. Now this is going to dry with a dull sheen. My wrist, or my fingers, I should say. Focusing on any foliage that might be loose. Like fences and hedges and think everything's got a good coat on it. Good, nice, thick. I used half the bottle. Okay. Now we let it dry. And then I store it. Alright, so that is the finished terrain board, terrain tiles. Trying to get a little lower on this tripod. So you can kind of see what it looks like. Here, let's do this. This is almost a ground scale. Bear with me, I'm fiddling with my tripod here. Alright, now I've got like a, what do you call those things? Those sticks that you put your camera at the end of a stick. Selfie stick? Yeah. Kind of done that with my camera here. Got the farm. Got the stream on the far side. The hill. Little farmland area here. It's still wet, as you can see, because of the spray, but it'll dry. Then you got your defensible hedge, Quatra with the blended gravelly wash. Now with the scenic cement spray, it probably washed it out a little bit more actually. Got rid of that brown spot, turned it into a trail like it's supposed to be. You got the road there where Merlin comes in. Some fields, Bazoo Woods, which goes around here. Then you got a hill. A little bit of a field here as well with that farm. I think it was called Jemian Court, I think. And then you've got your footbridge and your main bridge. You got that path that leads back up to what would be considered sort of an objective. This trail road intersection. I think this is Piermont up here on the hill. You got this patch of woods right there, which would be is where the 95th Rifles were. Oh, it's out of focus now. Why is it out of focus? Okay, it's back. It's like, what was going on with my focus? Trying to get a good overall pick. Here we go. There's Quatra, the battlefield. Now the only thing left for me to do is to clean up my work area, let this dry, and then put it away. And you don't need to watch me do that. Now I have started a video where I am using the Battalion 502 magic potion as well as the blue brush gel. But I've only filmed the first half of that video last night, and I'm going to film the second half of that video tonight. So you might look for that tonight. Alright guys, well that's where we're going to end it for this evening. I did successfully finish my map. I'm very happy with it. Now when it dries a few hours from now, and I store it, hopefully I don't damage the hedges, and hopefully the flock and the turf and everything is nice and sealed and stays on the map. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one. I got a lot of cleanup to do.